Hello. Currently, we are a little over 15 weeks out from my first bikini competition of the season, and I am 7 weeks into prep. So today, I'm gonna do a physique update and kind of take you through my day, vlog of a day in the life, I suppose. And yeah, so let's head into a physique update. So we are looking at my physique, and today's check-in was not my best check-in ever. No change to waist or hip measurements, and there hasn't been a change in a month with my waist, and there hasn't been a change in 3 weeks with my hips. So currently sitting at 37.5 for my hips. We started at 38.25, so we're down a decent amount. Waist, we're at 26. And we started at 26.5, so we're down half an inch. Not the world's best, but you know, what can you do? I was down a little over a pound on average though, so that was really good. Unfortunately today, as you saw, I weighed in at almost my highest weight for the week, which was a big bummer. But what can you do? Some check-ins aren't as good as others, and that's just how it is. So happy overall with how I'm looking. And coach didn't make any changes, so calories are still at 1900 and cardio is still 5x30 steady state, and steps are still at a base of 9,000. So we had no changes because weight changed, and measurements aren't going to go down every week, otherwise I'd have no waist by the end of 20 weeks. So we are currently 7 weeks into prep, and I have 15.3 until my first show. So at least 15 weeks left, definitely, almost definitely more, because I'll be doing more shows if everything pans out all the way through September, but at least through July and probably August. So we still got a long way to go. But yeah, overall, can't be too mad at the physique, but what can you do? I did practice some walking and a little rusty, so we got to work on that. But otherwise, yeah, we're chugging along, and I'm excited to continue seeing progress. Took a couple clips of my leg day. We are doing 3 leg days a week right now, which is more than I've done since my 2021 prep. I usually only do 2, but it's been going okay. I haven't been losing strength. Everything has been holding steady, and it's been feeling pretty good overall. And I have been really working on my hip mobility, so some clips in here somewhere of some of the things I've been doing to help with that, and these are coming from a physical therapist, so they are separate from what I'm doing with my coach, and we are really working on getting especially my right hip to really be able to sit into the glute more. We initially started this to help with my plantar fasciitis in my foot, because that's been chronic for a couple years now, which is insane when I say that out loud. But she's thinking it's stemming from my hips being super sticky more so than my foot. So then we're working on hip stuff, which I have noticed a difference. I can connect with my glutes a lot better in my glute exercises. So I think it's doing something. It's just going to be slow going. But yeah, so adding those in most days, and been hitting the gym. 3 leg days, 2 upper, and strength has been maintained and feeling really good, and I'm hoping that can continue for the foreseeable future. So, all right. And are there any mindset or thought reframes that might be helpful? So, for example, maybe I'm feeling hungry, could be reframed in I should be feeling hungry before my next meals, especially since I'm in a deficit and on prep, or something like that. Obviously it doesn't have to be that, but just something pops up, is there a way to kind of reframe that thought to make it feel a little bit easier and the diet feel a little less challenging? A little clip of me working. It's really funny to think I'm coaching people on prep, and I'm also on prep. So the things we're talking about in check-ins and the things that they're going through, I am too. So I'm like kind of living the exact same life as my prep clients, which last season I had people competing, but I wasn't. So it's been a little bit interesting and fun to have that juxtaposition while working. Also being like, hey, I know exactly what you're going through because, same. So that's been really fun and a change, and so far it's going great. Okay, so I wanted to talk about being hungry on prep a little bit and like what it's like, what to expect, and is it normal? And yeah, it is totally normal to be hungry on prep. It is expected. It'd be kind of weird if you weren't feeling hunger in between meals on prep, but that's kind of the thing I want you to think about. It is normal to feel hungry in between meals. It is normal to feel hunger before you eat again. And this is normal even outside of prep. Like if you're looking to have good hunger and fullness awareness and be more mindful of eating and things like that, being able to be okay with being hungry before you eat is normal even when not in a deficit. Now, right now, I am hungry between meals. Like I am getting ready to eat my breakfast and I'm pretty hungry. But I'm not ravenous and feel like I'm gonna like faint, or I don't feel nauseous because I'm so hungry or something like that. And really that's where you want to be most of prep. And so I guess on a hunger fullness scale, which will pop up here, yeah, so sometimes I can be hungrier and be like a 2, maybe even a little more if I'm longer in between my meals normally. So that is something I do keep in mind. But being at that 2 where you're like, I'm very hungry, is normal in prep, especially before your meals. And especially as you get deeper into prep, you're going to be pushing that a little bit further and being a little bit hungrier a little bit sooner, or a little bit sooner after your meals, or earlier and earlier before your next meal. And then another reality of prep is on that hunger fullness, like if you're looking at it, you're probably not really going to hit a 7 very often. You're definitely not going to hit an 8. You're probably going to be closer to that 6 range where you're like, yeah, I definitely could still eat. I'm not full. I am not hungry anymore, but I definitely would like a little bit more food. And that's probably where you're going to hang out all of prep, because we're dieting, we're trying to lose body fat. So having that realistic expectation of where that hunger level is going to be throughout your prep is really important, because you don't want that to kind of like take you by surprise. Like, wow, I actually don't normally feel hungry. I wasn't expecting this, or I wasn't expecting to feel hungry right away, or I was expecting maybe at the end, but not right away. And just knowing that you're going to be hungry and that you're probably never going to be like even comfortably full. I mean, maybe especially at the very beginning of prep, when calories are still a little bit higher potentially, but very likely you're gonna be more at that 6 range. We're like, yeah, I'm not hungry anymore, but I could eat. So just keeping that in mind and thinking about that is something to have in the back of your head as you start prep, or if you're thinking about prep, or if you're in prep, and just be like, yes, this is normal, it is expected, this is what everyone's feeling, and it is not a panic situation to feel hungry. It's not something to worry about. It is a normal response that your body is having to signal to you like, hey, we could eat, and we would really like that. And that's it. That's all it is. So speaking of that though, I am really hungry right now, so I'm gonna eat this breakfast. My chicken's in the other room, and I'm gonna read a book while I eat. So, all right, I'll see you in the next clip. Workday is done. It is now almost 6 o'clock. Getting ready to make my last meal. Hunger is probably at a 3.5. I'm actually not feeling super hungry right now, which is kind of surprising. I don't know, I ate a little later for lunch maybe, and that has something to do with it. But also I was keeping really busy with work, and sometimes being distracted, I don't notice it. So maybe I'll start to feel that hunger pop up as I'm making my dinner. Because the best way to not feel hungry is to not just sit around and think about it. So that's a big mistake people can make, is being at home, not doing things, and just, I don't know, being bored. And when you're bored, you want a snack. And so that doesn't help hunger. So staying busy in prep is super helpful to help manage hunger. But it's, like I said, it's almost 6. And in prep, I will kind of use more external cues to help indicate when to eat. So in normal life, like outside of prep, ideally you want to listen to more internal cues when you are using that as an indicator to eat, so like hunger and fullness. But in prep, I am, and most people do, use some more external cues, so like time. I generally try to eat around the same times when I'm in prep, within reason. Like it's not like I have to eat at this exact time. It's within a couple hours. Generally speaking, it's almost always the same, but on weekends that can definitely shift to much earlier or much later in those windows. And sometimes I completely miss them. Like, it's not a hard and fast rule, but having kind of those external cues that you can use can be really beneficial, because in prep, those hunger cues are going to be popping up. And in normal life, like when you're actually truly physically hungry, getting something to eat is great. But in prep, that might be like, hey, like if I eat now, I'm not going to be able to like have anything else the whole rest of the night. And it is only 4 o'clock and I will be absolutely ravenous later or in the morning before I can eat or something like that. So kind of keeping those external cues to assist in prep is and can be really beneficial. I think kind of weaning yourself off of that after prep is a process in and of itself, because it can be hard for that transition to get back to the normal way of eating. But yeah, so I like to use a little bit of external cues to help me decide when to eat, and still paying attention to how hungry and how full I am. Like, I'm eating a little later than normal tonight because I'm not feeling absolutely starving. Like I said, I'm probably like a 3.5. So like, I'm hungry, I could eat, but I could wait as well. So yeah, I'm gonna cook some food. Basically, I'm gonna make popcorn and put some cottage cheese in a bowl and eat that. And I think that, yeah, and I think that's gonna be it probably for the night. So I will talk to you guys later.